Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Happy Sunday
Happy Sunday.
to you. It's been a great,
Awesome.
great Sunday, hasn't it
It
been?
has. It's been an amazing weekend.
So
My
excited to
mother
see you.
celebrates her birthday tomorrow, so I got to hang out.
Oh, I thought, well, we
This week.
celebrated it this weekend.
We celebrated this
but
weekend.
it's officially
It's
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
so that's a blessing. Like my grandma used to say, to be in the land
of the living.
of the living.
They said, I was talking to one of your uncles the other, while we were at the party. He said, it's better to be seen and not viewed. I said, you are right about that, my brother.
You know it.
He said, you are right about that. So glad to see you guys on today.
Glad to see you.
Man, this has been a busy week. So we're going to get started with it. We got Pillow Conversations coming up first, and then we'll get into the message. All right, these are some of the things that my wife and I, we just kind of talk about. It's crazy stuff.
When you're trying to drift off.
When you're trying to drift off and everything. So she hadn't heard the topic. She don't know what we're going to talk about first.
What is it?
So here's the question.
Yes.
Who do you wish Happy Mother's Day to first? A husband. Who does a husband wish Happy Mother's Day to first? The wife of his children or mother of his children or his mom?
Okay. Off the cuff, off the bat, I would say your mom. However, I mean, I'm assuming you're sleeping in the bed next to your wife. So y'all, let's say y'all wake up at the same time. You see your wife, Happy Mother's Day. Now, let's say she's still asleep. You wake up, you call your mama. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. For me personally, I would not get offended if my husband reached over like, let me call my mom and tell her Happy Mother's Day. Now, but if I've been just sitting there, like you're going to sit here and look me in my face all day.
And walk past you all day.
Walk past
and then call his mom.
Exactly.
Happy Mother's Day, mama did say you.
Exactly.
So it just depends. But somebody was talking about that and they were upset because their husband wished his mother Happy Mother's Day first over her.
I think everything is in context. Like I said, if we sit in there all day long and you don't say nothing to me and then call your mama, that's probably an issue.
Right.
But no, I would probably say something to my husband. He'd say, Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, honey. You called. You talk to your mama.
Right.
So
that's probably what Kim would say. Probably she probably remind me, hey, you need to call your mama. You know. Yeah.
So
but the lady was really upset.
I think it's all in context. Like I said, if he's been looking you at your face hours and ain't said nothing because he waiting to talk to his mama first, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, partner. You couldn't have just said nothing.
So guys, it just depends. Now, ask your wife first. Me, when it comes to Father's Day, I want Father's Day first.
Stop. Well,
I don't care really.
Well, you know what? I will make sure I tell you Happy Father's Day first.
Right.
My daddy did, so I ain't gonna be
All right, guys, this is our last and final message.
Okay.
On this segment of communication, I'm going to introduce briefly what we're going to talk about next week, and then we'll get into this message here. Okay. So this is what we're going to start talking about next week. But this is our last. We're going to visit communication again.
Oh yeah.
Because I believe it's something that's very, very needed.
Refresh on. Right. Yes.
But this is what we're going to minister on starting next week. Are you breaking the law? Did you know that there are spiritual laws that govern a marriage?
Yeah.
And a lot of times marriage is not working because they are breaking the spiritual law. And the first law we're going to talk about.
Some marriage criminals out there.
It's some marriage criminals. They're breaking the law. And the first spiritual law that we're going to talk about is called the law of priority.
Okay.
The law of priority. You don't want to miss next week. That's going to be really good.
All right.
Even though it's Super Bowl Sunday next week, right? But still,
y'all heard it, so he gonna be here.
So after the game, whoever wins or lose, after that, come in, listen to this message. It'll be recorded.
So it ain't no. I think we should do live on Super Bowl Sunday.
Live on Super Bowl Sunday.
Live on Super.
Flesh and Blood did not reveal that. All right. So last week we talked about understanding. Right. And so we talked about how there's a difference between sympathy
and empathy.
And my wife gave a great definition of empathy. And if you want to talk about the definition you gave for empathy as well.
Empathy is just really taking the effort to try to see it from the other person's standpoint, to try to put yourself in their shoes, not your shoes and your experiences, but
Right.
trying to get insight from their vantage point.
And so when we talked about that, when you're putting yourself in their shoes, I gave some examples on how when my wife went through the PhD program, I was not empathetic at all to her place. And so there was no understanding when she was communicating things to me. I did not understand it. But as I began to, when I went through the doctoral program,
I was so empathetic.
She was so empathetic. And she would laugh because she would say, remember, this is what I was saying. Guys,
I wouldn't openly laugh.
That's probably one of the most challenging things is getting that. That's a very challenging process. So we talked about that, and we said that listening and speaking, listening and understanding are the three different things you need to do. And then we talked about the process of understanding.
Okay.
But today we're going to talk about the skill.
Okay.
There is a skill to understanding.
You know what? The key word with that, when you say skill, that lets you know when you talk about a skill, that's something that can be developed.
Right.
Some people look at things like either you got it or you don't. You can develop that.
Right.
It can be developed. It can be fine-tuned.
So here are the skills that you need to develop when you're trying to work on understanding. My wife can get it because she said that paper.
I know, him and that piece of paper.
I think that paper was really crazy. I usually use my phone, but they took my phone from me. The skill to understand. Okay, number one, you need to monitor your filters. Okay, monitor your filters. What I mean by that is, are you filtering things through skeletons?
Oh, good one.
Right?
Stuff from the past.
Stuff from the past. Skeletons, stuff that's from the past. So years ago, my wife and I was having an argument about something. And I told her, I said, honey, I can't defend myself against something that's old. I mean, because I'm not that person anymore. And what I mean by how a skeleton can harm you, a filter of a skeleton, how they can harm you, stuff from your past, how that can harm you, you're not listening in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? You're not listening in the moment. You're thinking that what they're saying now is linked to something over here, linked to something there, linked to something. It's linked to a past relationship. It linked to something your daddy did. It linked to something your mama did. It linked to something you heard in the church. It's like, and that's probably not even what they're talking about. So you have to monitor that filter. And here's how you monitor that filter. You ask questions. Yeah. You probe. Say, hey, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Yeah. Because here's what I'm thinking.
You get clarification.
All right, go ahead, honey, talk about that.
No, I was going to say ask questions to get an understanding. Sometimes you paraphrase. I never forget one time my husband was telling me something, and I teach on communication. So I'm using what I teach and train on. And so I paraphrased, or I said, so you're saying, and I restated it. And therefore that gives people an opportunity to let you know whether what you're saying is on point or not. But I thought I understood. And I was like, so what you're saying is this? He said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And I was like, oh. But if I had not have done that, I would have walked away thinking he was saying something that he wasn't.
Exactly.
So you could also do that.
Monitor your filters. Monitor your filters. Question, probe. And it's okay to probe.
Yeah. It's how you do it.
Yeah. It's okay
There's
to probe.
a way to do it.
Don't talk with your hand. My wife, she goes, she talk with her hands, like that.
I do not.
She talk like that, When she get upset, she talk like that. No. Number two, emotions are important, but
all right, now.
Everything is not emotional.
Okay.
Emotions are important, but everything is not emotional. Some stuff you got to understand, you got to put the emotion aside.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. Do you know that there are emotional pimps out there? They use their emotions
to get what they
want.
Right. Take you on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. They use their emotions, or they use their emotions to avoid conversations.
Yeah. No, because people don't want to see how they go respond. They already know, this person's going to get worked up, or they're going to cry, they're going to pitch. So people just avoid dealing with them and talking with them about things.
Right.
So, yeah.
So emotions, I'm sorry, y'all.
No, you're
emotions
fine.
are very important, but everything is not about emotions, guys. Put the emotion, when you're trying to develop this skill of understanding, You're understanding the fact that I want to get better.
Yeah.
I want to get better. Players, every coach is not ragging on you because he just don't like you. See, that's emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he don't like me. No.
Maybe you ain't doing what you're supposed
Maybe
to do.
that's not what you
Exactly.
need. Maybe you need to be coached
better.
up. Right.
Maybe you need to get better. Maybe you can do better.
That lady, that female boss, man employee, that female, see, men sometimes have an issue with female leadership, right? That ain't your mom or your sister.
She's your boss.
That's your boss. So put all them emotions aside, bro, and stop talking about, oh, she just after black men. No. What is she asking you to do?
And how are you responding?
So you get the emotional part out of it by saying, what is the truth? And you got to be honest with yourself.
And sometimes the truth hurts.
And it does.
It can hurt.
It does. I was mentioning Thursday on offense. Go back and listen to that message, guys. I was mentioning that message on offense. And I said one of the ways offense happens is through truth.
Yeah.
Truth hurts.
It doesn't always feel good.
Number 3, and we talked about this at length. We're not going to go about that, but you got to develop empathy.
Yeah, we talked about it.
You got to develop empathy, guys. Number 4, remove interruptions.
Okay.
Remove interruptions. Now, Bishop was bad at this one. I was bad at this one because I'm so quick on my feet and I want to think. And sometimes, let me tell you why you're interrupting, because 2 reasons why you're interrupting. Number 1, you're interrupting because you probably want to dominate the conversation. But number 2, I really believe a lot of guys may be interrupted because they may forget their point. So how you do that, just write it down.
You write it down. But you said a key point there as well. Are you listening or you just waiting to talk?
I ain't got to that one yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about, I'm going to forget my points, I just got to go and say it. So you've been focusing on your point. Did you hear anything that I said?
Right. Okay. Number 5, allow love. No, filter.
Just
emotional.
say next one. You ain't got
the next one.
The
Right,
next
the next one. Sorry. The next one. Allow. I'm sorry. Listen. She just did it. Are you listening or are you waiting to speak?
There you go.
Are you listening or are you waiting to speak?
Exactly.
Sometimes in an argument, you're really not listening.
You're just waiting to get your point.
You're just waiting on your turn. Okay, when is it going to be my turn?
Exactly.
Because as soon as it's my turn.
And when you're doing that, you just want to defend. You're ready to defend what you wanted to say anyway. Were you even paying attention?
Yeah. All right. So that's what threw my number. I kept saying, okay. All right. So the next one is selfishness.
Yeah.
Selfishness. Example. I put up an example. They are asking because that's important to them. A lot of times people are talking about something over and over again because that's important to them. It's really, really important to them. So if it's important to them,
listen.
Don't be selfish.
Hear 'em
Understand that it's important. It needs to be important to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 we're going to talk about, and then we'll end this. The last 2 is defense. Remove defense. Y'all know what defense is, right? Offense, they trying to score. Defense trying to stop you from scoring. So remove defense, guys. Let it go, listen, and remove your defense. The last one, guys, I want to talk about is, and this is the most important one, allow love to be your compass.
Yay.
Allow love to be your guiding compass. My wife would say that all the time. She would say, because, I would say something sometimes. She said, that you can be harsh. But she said, I always knew you loved me.
I knew your heart.
You know what was best for me. I know your heart.
I knew you need to take a communication class.
I did.
It's like, why don't you come to my class? But yeah, you let love guide you. And if you allow it to guide you, you won't say everything that pops up in your mind. Or you will find a way to say it where you're not trying to destroy and tear nobody down.
Right.
But
I know that emotion that sometimes come up, guys, when you just want to say it and you're looking, and sometimes when you're saying something, you're like, they're not understanding what I'm saying. Sometimes you might have to hit it another way. You might have to come around another way. But being forceful, tearing people apart, tearing down somebody's self-esteem, that is not the way you want to go. No. Tearing down insecurity, tearing down security and your wife, and then for definitely threatening. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I said that's one of my thing is removing threats. We love to husband and wives, they love that D threat.
Yeah.
We just need to get a divorce. No, you need to grow up. Because the Bible says, he said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. That's what a child does. They try to use threats to get what
their
they
way.
want.
Exactly.
That's what a child does. He said, but when I became a man, I put away
what
childish things. So you deal with it in love. Allow love to be
your compass.
Your compass. And everything don't need to be talked about right then.
Sometimes you might need to wait a second.
Oh, preacher said that one time. He said, sometimes you need to take it and put it on the shelf.
Let it calm down.
Let it calm down and then go back and get it. Now don't put it on the shelf and let dust grow.
Look, you ain't got, like folks say, where you act up is where I'm gonna show. No, wait a minute, let's not do that.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right, guys, because the next segment I'll show Life 101. I'll come back with a powerful word and we'll close out, and then that'll be it.
All right.
Guys, this segment I'm calling Life 101 is Take Advantage. Take advantage. Stop living your life like you have 1,000 years left. Guys, this week, I've heard of about 3 people that I know that are close to me in age, and they have left the earth.
Yeah.
Maybe they were waiting to write the book. Maybe they were waiting to write the song. Maybe they were waiting on the right opportunity to do this. And they were waiting on the right time to do this. Well, in January 2024, they were waiting on it. And then January 31st, 2024, it didn't happen because they left the earth.
Yeah.
You have right now. Life is not a dress rehearsal. You and your wife, you have right now.
Yeah.
Take full advantage of the opportunity, the destiny, and the purpose that God has placed on your life. You want to go back to school? Go back to school. Do it now. Start working on it right now. Don't be putting it off and talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. No, don't do that. And for
today
today is the day. Oh, the scripture said today is the day of salvation.
Yep, today is the day. Tomorrow's not promised.
Girl, I often say today's day, but you say so every day is the day. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now.
Thanksgiving.
Take advantage right now because today is the moment of your greatness.
My
wife always try to take over the show. You want to close out the show?
Guys, have a phenomenal week. And I just wanted to, y'all can put it in the chat. I feel like you Shaq, and I'm, look at him.
Y'all like this up and down deal?
We tried something different. He all like just a big. What's Shaq? See, Shaq played basketball. Yeah. I don't know no positions in basketball. Never mind.
Point guard. Well, he plays center. Guard. He plays center.
I was gonna say linebacker, but that's football.
That's football. Which is happening next week. That's a Super Bowl.
Guys, but don't you worry about no Super Bowl.
Regardless of what, still.
I think he's gonna do live next week during the game. See who dedicated.
None of my.
Where you put your treasure at?
I got some friends that are dedicated. I do. I already know some of them gonna be like, Bishop, we love you.
They'll see you on the.
We'll see it at 9.
Guys, have a blessed week. Take care.